everyone. I'm really glad you're here today. Let's just take a breath together before we begin. In a world that feels constantly on edge with global conflict, nonstop news alerts, social media overload, and career paths that change faster than we can plan, it's easy to feel like we're standing on shifting sand. But today, I want to talk about something solid, something steady, something unshakable. We're going to talk about God's assurance, the deep peace that He offers even when everything around us feels uncertain. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. He's not promising that the world will be calm. He's promising that you can be calm in the world. It's not about escaping chaos. It's about having peace right in the middle of it. When Isaiah says, "Do not fear, for I am with you," he's not pretending life is easy. He's acknowledging that fear is real, but reminding us that God's presence is even more real. It's like walking through a dark alley at night. You're scared if you're alone. But if someone you trust, someone strong and dependable, walks beside you, suddenly the darkness feels a little less threatening. That's what God is saying here. You're not walking through life alone. Even when the headlines are terrifying, even when your notifications are nonstop bad news, God is walking right beside you. Paul talks about peace that transcends understanding. That means peace that doesn't make sense. Peace that's not logical, like when your world feels like it's falling apart, but something deep inside still says it's going to be okay. That's God's peace. It doesn't come from control or certainty, it comes from trust. And when Jesus says, "My peace I give you," I do not give to you as the world gives. That's so important because the world's kind of peace is temporary. It's the kind you get from scrolling for distraction from a good playlist or a weekend getaway. It works for a little while. But then real life comes crashing back in. Jesus offers something different, a peace that doesn't depend on perfect circumstances. It's peace that flows from relationship, not relaxation. We're living in a time of global instability. Wars break out, economies fluctuate, politics feel divided, and even technology, something meant to connect us, often leaves us anxious and overstimulated. Most of us check our phones hundreds of times a day. We're flooded with more information than any generation before us. We know about earthquakes across the planet within seconds. We see disasters, conflict, and injustice on repeat. No wonder so many of us feel restless or numb. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. We're drowning in information but starving for peace. The internet is amazing, right? We can learn anything, connect with anyone, create opportunities, but the constant noise, the comparison, the pressure to always be on, it drains the soul. We scroll through highlight reels of other people's lives, comparing them to our behind-the-scenes reality. We chase likes, views, and validation, but it never feels like enough. That's why God's assurance matters so much today, because it grounds us. It reminds us that our value doesn't come from algorithms or followers or productivity. It comes from the fact that we're loved by the Creator of the universe. Period. When you know that you don't need to hustle for worthiness. You don't need to prove you belong. You already do. This generation has seen jobs come and go faster than ever. AI, automation, remote work, everything's changing. People are questioning their majors, their goals, even their identity, and that's okay because God's assurance isn't tied to your job title. It's tied to who you are, not what you do. In uncertain times, God doesn't just give direction, He gives stability. Life is like surfing. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to balance. And God is that steady core that helps you stay upright, no matter how wild the water gets. When you trust that God is with you, You stop living from panic. You start living from peace. Instead of saying, what if everything falls apart? You begin to say, even if it does, I'll be okay because God's got me. That's not denial. That's assurance. It's the calm of someone who knows they're being held by something stronger than the storm. Imagine you're scrolling through your feed and see another breaking news alert, or maybe a friend posts something that stirs anxiety, talking about war, climate change, or economic collapse. You start to feel your chest tighten. In that moment, you can pause and remind yourself, I'm not alone. God is here. He's not surprised by any of this. That small pause, that little reminder, it recenters your soul. It's like turning down the volume on chaos and turning up the voice of peace. Or maybe you're facing uncertainty about your future. You're applying for jobs or school programs, but you're not sure what's next. It feels like everyone else has a plan except you. It's okay not to have it all figured out. God isn't looking for perfect plans. He's looking for willing hearts. He's not saying, map it all out. He's saying, trust me with the next step. Sometimes assurance doesn't mean having all the answers. It means knowing who holds the answers. If we're honest, we all crave stability. We want something we can count on. But the truth is, the world has never been stable. It just feels more unstable now because we see everything instantly. In ancient times, people faced wars, famines, plagues, and collapse, yet God's message stayed the same, I am with you. The difference is they had fewer distractions. They didn't have to fight the constant noise of comparison and fear. We do. So when we anchor ourselves in God's assurance, it's not outdated faith. It's revolutionary focus. It's saying, while everyone else is chasing the next thing, I'm resting in the one who never changes. Every time we open our phones, we're invited into 1,000 realities. But not all of them are true. Some are designed to make us afraid, to keep us scrolling, to keep us hooked. But God's assurance reminds us, truth isn't something you scroll through. It's someone you stand on. And when your mind is spinning, you can breathe and whisper, God, remind me of what's real. Because peace begins where panic ends. It might look like taking small moments throughout your day to reconnect with God. Before you open your phone in the morning, say a quick prayer. God, center me in you today. When you feel overwhelmed at work or school, take a few seconds to breathe and say, I trust you're with me in this. When you're tempted to compare yourself online, remind yourself, God already approves of me. These small pauses can completely shift your mental state. They pull you out of the digital rush and back into the presence of peace. Paul says, with thanksgiving. That's not a throwaway line. Gratitude changes how we experience the world. When you focus on what's going wrong, your anxiety grows. But when you thank God for what's good, your peace grows. Gratitude is like watering the right plants in your garden. Whatever you water, grows. Tonight before bed, put your phone down for 5 minutes. Sit quietly and think of 3 things you're grateful for. Say them out loud. Thank God for them. Then, instead of doom scrolling before sleep, let your last thought be peace. You'll be amazed how much lighter you feel. And I know some of you might be thinking, okay, but what about when things actually go wrong? When bad news hits my life directly? That's where God's assurance becomes more than a comfort. It becomes an anchor. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That's a promise of support. It means even when life knocks you down, God's hand is underneath you. You might bend, but you won't break. You might fall, but you won't stay down because his grip doesn't loosen when things get hard. Imagine you're holding onto a rope during a storm. The wind's strong, the waves are high, and you're losing your footing. You might think your grip is what's keeping you safe. But really, it's God holding you. That's assurance. Not the strength of your faith, but the faithfulness of your God. So when global instability shakes the world, you can say, God is still on the throne. When digital noise fills your mind, you can say, God's voice is still clear. When your career feels uncertain, you can say, God's plan for me hasn't changed. That's not optimism. That's faith grounded in reality. Every day this week, take one area of anxiety, maybe it's the news, your future, your relationships, or your job, and consciously hand it to God. Say out loud, God, I trust you with this. It doesn't have to be fancy, just honest. And then take one practical step of faith in something small that says, I'm choosing peace over panic, Maybe it's putting your phone down for an hour. Maybe it's praying before you make a big decision. Maybe it's reaching out to encourage someone else instead of worrying about yourself. Every small act of faith strengthens your foundation. Jesus said those who hear his words and put them into practice are like wise builders who built their house on the rock. When the storm came, the house stood firm. So build your life on that rock and on God's assurance, not on trends, not on news cycles, not on social media opinions, but on the one who never changes. Because when everything else shakes, he stays steady. Peace is possible, not because the world is calm, but because God is constant. Assurance isn't pretending everything's fine. It's trusting that with God, you'll be fine, no matter what happens. If this message spoke to you, just take a quiet moment after this video. Pray, reflect. Ask God to remind you of his peace this week, because his assurance isn't just a nice idea. It's the anchor that holds you steady in a world that keeps changing. Thanks for spending this time with me today. Remember, you're loved, you're seen, and you're not walking through this world alone. God's got you always. Take care, stay grounded, and I'll see you next time.